Brothers and sisters, it is Sister Mary. We are going to be reading Deuteronomy chapter 6 through 10. And I am reading out of the Interlinear Bible, which is the Hebrew and the Aramaic translation of the Old Testament. God bless you as you listen to the written and holy word of God. Deuteronomy chapter 6. And this is the commandment, the statute, and the judgments which Jehovah your God commanded to teach you, to do them in the land to which you are crossing over, to possess it, that you might fear Jehovah your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, you and your son, and your son's son, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear then, O Israel, and take heed to do it, that it may be well with you, that you may increase mightily, as Jehovah the God of your fathers has promised you, in the land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Jehovah our God is one Jehovah, and you shall love Jehovah your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be on your heart, and you shall point out them to your sons, and shall speak of them as you sit in your house, and as you walk in the way, and as you are lying down, and as you are rising up. And you shall bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorpost of your house, and on your gates. And it shall be, when Jehovah your God shall bring you into the land which he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to you great and good cities, which you have not built, and houses full of good things, which you have not filled, and wells dug, which you did not dig, vineyards and olive yards, which you did not plant. And you shall eat and be satisfied. You shall be on guard, that you not forget Jehovah, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slaves. You shall fear Jehovah your God, and you shall serve him, and you shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the peoples who are around you. For Jehovah your God is a jealous God in your midst, lest the anger of Jehovah your God burn against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not test Jehovah your God, as you test him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commands of Jehovah your God, and his testimonies and his statutes which he has commanded you. And you shall do the right thing and the good thing in the eyes of Jehovah, so that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which Jehovah has sworn to your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as Jehovah has spoken. When your son asks you hereafter, saying, what are the testimonies and the statutes and the ordinances which Jehovah your God has commanded you? Then you shall say to your son, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, and Jehovah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and Jehovah gave signs and great and grievous wonders on Egypt, on Pharaoh, and on all his household before our eyes. And he has brought us out from there in order to bring us in, to give us the land which he had sworn to our fathers. And Jehovah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Jehovah our God, for our good forever, to keep us alive as today. And it shall be righteousness for us when we are careful to do all this commandment before Jehovah our God, as he has commanded us. Chapter 7 of Deuteronomy. When Jehovah your God shall bring you into the land to which you are going, to possess it, and he cast out many nations from before you, the Hittite, and the Girgashite, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, 7 nations, larger and mightier than you. And Jehovah your God gives them up before you, and you strike them. Then you shall utterly destroy them. You shall not cut a covenant with them, nor show mercy to them, nor shall you intermarry with them. You shall not give your daughter to his son, nor shall you take his daughter to your son. For he will turn your son away from following me, that they may serve other gods, and the anger of Jehovah will glow against you, and he will destroy you quickly. But you shall deal with them in this way. You shall break down their altars and dash in pieces the cult stone, and you shall cut down their pillars, and you will burn their carved images with fire. For you are a holy people to Jehovah your God. Jehovah your God has chosen you to be his own treasure. Out of all the people on the face of the earth, Jehovah did not set his love on you or choose you because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of people, of all people. But because Jehovah loved you, and because he kept the oath which he swore to your fathers, Jehovah has caused you to go out with a strong hand, and redeemed you from the house of slaves, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Because of this, know that Jehovah your God, he is God, the faithful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to those who love him and to those who keep his commands, to 1,000 generations, and repaying to him to his face those that hate him. To destroy him he will not delay. He will repay him who hates him to his face. And you shall keep the commandments and the statutes and the ordinances which I am commanding you today to do them. And it shall be, because you hear judgments and keep and do them, even Jehovah your God will keep with you the covenant and the mercy which he swore to your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your body and the fruit of your land, your grain and your wine and your oil, the increase of your oxen and the wealth of your flock in the land which he has sworn to your fathers to give it to you. You shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be a barren man or a barren woman among you, nor among your livestock. And Jehovah shall turn aside every sickness from you, and he will not put on you any of the evil diseases of Egypt, which you have known, but he will put them on all who hate you. And you shall destroy all the peoples whom Jehovah your God is giving to you, and your eye shall have no pity on them. And you shall not serve their gods, for it shall be a snare to you. If you shall say in your heart, these nations are more plentiful than I, how can I throw them out? You shall not be afraid of them. You shall surely remember that which Jehovah your God has done to Pharaoh and to all Egypt, the great trials which your eyes have seen, and the miracles and the wonders and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm which Jehovah your God has brought you out. So Jehovah your God shall do to all the peoples of whose face you are afraid. And Jehovah your God shall send the hornets among them, until the ones who are left perish, even those who hide themselves from your face. You shall not be afraid of them, for Jehovah your God is among you, a mighty and fearful God. And Jehovah your God will clear out those nations before you by little and little. You may not destroy them at once, lest the beast of the field increase upon you. And Jehovah your God shall deliver them up before you, and destroy them with a great destruction until they are exterminated. And he shall give their kings into your hand, and you shall destroy their name from under the heavens. No man shall be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them. You shall burn the carved images of their gods with fire, and you shall not lust after the silver and gold on them, nor shall you take it to yourself, that you not be snared by it, for it is an abomination to Jehovah. And you shall not bring an abomination into your house, that you not be a cursed thing like it. You shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly hate it, for it is a cursed thing. Chapter 8 of Deuteronomy. You shall take heed to do every commandment which I am commanding you today, so that you may live and may multiply and may go in and possess the land which Jehovah has sworn to your fathers. And you shall remember all the way which Jehovah your God has caused you to go these 40 years in the wilderness, in order to humble you, to try you, to know that which is in your heart, whether you will keep his commandments or not. And he has humbled you, and caused you to hunger, and caused you to eat the manna, which you had not known, even your fathers had not known, in order to cause you to know that by that man shall not live by bread alone, but man shall live by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Jehovah. Your clothing did not wear out on you, and your foot did not swell these 40 years. And you have known with your heart that as a man disciplines his son, Jehovah your God disciplines you. And you shall keep the commandments of Jehovah your God, to walk in his ways, and to fear him. For Jehovah your God brings you into a good land, a land of streams of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land in which you shall eat bread without want. You shall not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and you shall dig copper out of its mountains, and you shall eat and be satisfied. And you shall bless Jehovah your God in the land which he has given to you. Take heed to yourself, lest you forget Jehovah your God, so as not to keep his commandments, and his ordinances, and his statutes which I am commanding you today, that when you have eaten and are satisfied, and have built goodly houses, and have lived in them, and when your herds and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold have multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, then it rises up into your heart, and you forget Jehovah brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slave, who led you through the great and dreadful wilderness, with burning serpent and scorpion and thirst, where there is no water, who brought you water out of the flinty rock, who fed you with manna in the wilderness, which your fathers did not know, that he might humble you, and that he might prove you to do you good at your latter end, that you not say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. But you shall remember Jehovah your God, for it is he who gives to you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he swore to your fathers as this day. And it shall be, if you shall forget Jehovah your God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you today that you shall utterly perish, as the nations that Jehovah makes to perish before you. So you shall perish, because you did not listen to the voice of Jehovah your God. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Hear, O Israel, you shall cross over the Jordan today, to go in to expel nations greater and mightier than yourself, cities great and walled up to the heavens, a people great and tall, the sons of the Anakim, whom you know, and of whom you have heard it said, who can stand before the sons of Anak? And know today that Jehovah your God is he who passes over before you as a consuming fire. He will destroy them, and he will bring them down before you. So you shall drive them out, and make them to perish quickly, as Jehovah has spoken to you. Do not say in your heart, when Jehovah your God has cast them out from before you, saying, Jehovah has brought me in to possess this land for my righteousness. But say, Jehovah drives them out from before you because of the wickedness of those nations. It is not for your righteousness or for the uprightness of your heart that you go to possess their land, but Jehovah your God is disposing them from before you because of the wickedness of these nations, and in order to establish the word which Jehovah has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And you shall know that Jehovah your God is not giving you this good land to possess it for your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget how you made Jehovah your God angry in the wilderness, even from the day that you came out of the land of Egypt until you came into this place. You have been rebellious against Jehovah. Even in Horeb, you made Jehovah angry, and Jehovah showed himself angry against you to destroy you. When I went up into the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, tablets of the covenant which Jehovah cut with you, and I remained in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, I did not eat bread, nor did I drink water. And Jehovah gave to me the 2 tablets of stone, written with the finger of God, and on them was written according to all the words which Jehovah spoke with you in the mountains, out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Then it happened, at the end of 40 days and 40 nights, Jehovah gave the 2 tablets of stone to me, tablets of the covenant. And Jehovah said to me, Rise up, go down quickly from here, for your people, whom you have brought out of Egypt, have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned aside out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molten image. And Jehovah spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under the heavens. And I will make of you a nation mightier and greater than they. And I turned and came down from the mountain. And the mountain was burning with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, you had sinned against Jehovah your God. You had made a molten calf for yourselves. You had quickly turned out of the way which Jehovah had commanded you. And I took hold of the 2 tablets and threw them out of my 2 hands and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before Jehovah as at the first 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water, because of all your sins which you had sinned, in doing that which was evil in the sight of Jehovah, to make him angry. For I was afraid because of the anger and the fury with which Jehovah had been angry against you, to destroy you. And Jehovah listened to me at this time also. And Jehovah showed himself very angry with Aaron to destroy him. And I also prayed for Aaron at that time. And I took your sin, the calf which you made, and I burned it with fire, and beat it, grinding it very small until it was as fine as dust. And I threw its dust into the brook that came down out of the mountain. And at Taberah, and at Massah, and at the graves of lust you provoked Jehovah to anger. And when Jehovah sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given to you, then you rebelled against the mouth of Jehovah your God, and did not believe him nor listen to his voice. You have been rebels against Jehovah from the day that I knew. And I fell down before Jehovah the 40 days and 40 nights that I had thrown myself down, for Jehovah had said to destroy you. And I prayed to Jehovah and said, O Lord Jehovah, do not destroy your people and your inheritance, whom you have redeemed in your greatness, whom you have brought out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Do not look to the stubbornness of this people, nor to their wickedness, nor to their sin, lest the land from which you brought us say, because Jehovah was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he has brought them out to kill them in the wilderness. And they are your people and your inheritance, whom you have brought out by your great power and by your stretched out arm. Chapter 10. At that time Jehovah said to me, Cut out for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me into the mountain, and you shall make for yourself an ark of wood, and I shall write on the tablets the words which were on the first tablets, which you have broken, and you shall place them in the ark. And I made an ark of acacia wood, and cut out 2 tablets of stone like the first, and went up into the mountain. And the 2 tablets were in my hand, and he wrote on the tablets according to the writings the 10 words which Jehovah had spoken to you in the mountain out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And Jehovah gave them to me, and I turned and came down from the mountain and put the tablets in the ark which I had made. And they are there, as Jehovah commanded me. And the sons of Israel traveled from Beeroth of the sons of Jachin to Moserah. Aaron died there, and he was buried there. And his son Eleazar was acting as priest in his place. From there they traveled to Gudgodah, and from Gudgodah to Jotbath, a land of water brooks. At that time Jehovah separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant before Jehovah, to stand before Jehovah, and to minister to him, and to bless his name until today. Therefore Levi has no portion, nor inheritance, according as Jehovah your God spoke to him. And I stayed in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, as at the first, and Jehovah listened to me. That time also Jehovah would not destroy you. And Jehovah said to me, rise up, go before the people, causing them to set forward, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give it to them. And now, Israel, what has Jehovah your God asked of you, except to fear Jehovah your God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Jehovah your God with all your heart and with all your soul, to keep the commandments of Jehovah and his statutes, which I am commanding you today, for your good. Behold, the heavens and the heavens of the heavens, the earth and all that is in it, belong to Jehovah your God. Only Jehovah has delighted in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, on you out of all the peoples as today. And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and you shall not harden your neck any more. For Jehovah your God, he is the God of gods and the Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, the fearful God, who does not lift up faces, nor take a bribe. He executes justice for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the alien, to give food and clothing for him. And you shall love the alien, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt. You shall fear Jehovah your God. You shall serve him, and you shall cleave to him, and you shall swear by his name. And he shall be your praise, and he your God, who has done for you these great and fearful things, which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down to Egypt with 70 persons, and now Jehovah your God has made you as the stars of the heavens for multitude. Thank you for joining for today's reading. If it be the Lord's will, we will join together again tomorrow about the same time. I don't have a set time that I do the daily reading. It just depends on after I get morning chores done, things done. But we will be tomorrow in Deuteronomy chapter 11 and read through 15. If you are not joining us on Lighting the Way Ministries, which is the featured channel of God's Handmaiden, I ask you to go and subscribe. We are in prayer every evening when it is the Lord's will at 6 p.m. Central Time. Also, a study in the Word brought to us by Brother John, my husband, every Wednesday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Time. These are the live times that are available for you to fellowship with each other, one another. And if you have a question or a prayer request or anything you want to get in touch with us, please do that at ministrieslightingtheway@gmail.com. ministrieslightingtheway@gmail.com. Be blessed in the Lord today. Hallelujah.